First tonight, a former health minister admitting that government has no problem constructing buildings, but a major issue with maintenance. Dr. Dwayne Sand says he's not surprised that staff housed in the Ministry of Health and Wellness's building had to be relocated. Plus, the faces behind the statistics. As the world recognizes Suicide Prevention Day, one senator is calling for reform. And then, despite an uptick in digital transactions, currency manager at the Central Bank of the Bahamas says cash will still exist in our society. And then in our news at 7:30, a step in the right direction, but still not enough. Tonight, the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association president is calling for the complete removal of VAT off prescription drugs. We have the details for these stories and more as our news live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sand says the situation regarding the building that houses the Ministry of Health and Wellness, as well as the Ministry of Public Service, is not surprising. The building on Meeting Street remains closed to the public due to alleged mold and other structural issues. Our news spoke with Labor and Public Service Minister Pia Glover-Roll today, who confirmed that relocation efforts for staff housed in that building are underway. Dr. Sands was quick to criticize government's handling of the issue, saying it reflects a wider pattern of neglect across public buildings. He recalled challenges with the facility during his own tenure, pointing to the lack of follow-through on critical repairs.
So I'm not the slightest bit surprised. From the time that I was minister, there were challenges with the building. The expected mitigation required that we identify alternate sites for the evacuation of the building, significant renovations, and that's the reason why the Ministry of Health now occupies a number of sites remote from that facility. I am not sure whether the remediation work was ever done, but it speaks to the challenge of prioritization.
The former minister admitted both administrations, including the Free National Movement, have failed to maintain the building, explaining he believes it reflects a wider pattern of neglect across public buildings.
I would say that it is true that the government of the Bahamas, successive governments, have done a terrible job of maintaining government buildings. Okay, We don't have a problem building them, but then maintaining them is an issue. So the 10-year-old critical care block at Princess Margaret Hospital is in a sorry shape right now, and it's only 10 years old. I think it was commissioned in 2016, so 9 years old. So we build them, and then we let them run down into the ground.
Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and here at home, the Public Hospitals Authority pausing to not only raise awareness, but to also educate stakeholders about some of the factors that may lead to suicide. The PHA holding a symposium at Zion Baptist Church, South Beach today. In attendance were various healthcare professionals, police officers, officials from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, along with students from several schools. PHA Chairman Andrew Edwards was one of today's speakers.
Suicidal thoughts among teens have more than tripled in the past 25 years. Self-harm has nearly tripled. Feelings of loneliness have more than doubled. 1 in 5 Bahamian teens have attempted suicide. Nearly 1 in 4 has seriously contemplated it. These are not faceless statistics. They are our sons and daughters.
Healthcare professionals also explored ways to curb the troubling trend. Various panel discussions were held throughout the day. Among those present, Senator Darren Pickstock, who has used his platform to raise awareness about suicide prevention. The PLP senator is once again renewing calls to decriminalize attempted suicide.
We have a very robust legislative agenda. And I'm sure that, this is not just something I'm seeing and something I'm advocating. Other people are advocating for the removal of suicide from the penal code as well. And so, the message will go out, and we will have conversations about this area and the removal from the penal code.
A man has been jailed for 15 years for repeatedly raping his daughter for 2 years. The 58-year-old father's name has been withheld to conceal the identity of his daughter. The man received the sentence after he avoided a trial before Justice Renee McKay by accepting a plea deal. Following his release from prison, the man will be placed on probation for 2 years. A conviction during this period will send him back to prison for 1 year. The court heard that the man began molesting his 10-year-old daughter in 2016, and the abuse continued until she was 12. A murder suspect who sought bail on medical grounds will remain behind bars as he awaits trial, an appeals court has ruled. The Court of Appeal upheld a decision by Justice Neil Brathwaite to refuse 28-year-old Andre Ramsey bail for his protection and that of the public. He faces a murder charge concerning the July 20th shooting death of Elvardo Thompson at Pinecrest Subdivision. He's also accused of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger the life of PC 4476 McCarty, who was shot at as he pursued the murder suspect's getaway car. Ramsey, who has seizures, alleges that he is not getting adequate care for his medical issues. An afternoon walk had a terrifying ending for 2 American visitors. Police say the American man and woman were taking a stroll on West Bay Street near Sandy Port around 2 p.m. yesterday when they were approached by a male suspect. Police say the suspect allegedly assaulted the female victim and stole her necklace. After the shocking crime, he jumped into a nearby silver car that sped off heading east on West Bay Street. Now, if you have any information that can help solve this crime, contact police at 911, 919, or CID at 502-9991. You can also leave anonymous tips by calling Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Digital money is growing, but don't count cash out just yet. The central bank says paper money still plays a big role, even as the Bahamas moves toward faster digital payments. At the central bank's 3-day summit at Atlantis, currency manager Jermaine Campbell gave a closer look at how Bahamians are using money today. He says cash circulation continues to grow steadily, 4 to 6% annually over the past 2 decades. But while people still rely on bills and coins, Campbell says the sand dollar and other digital options are becoming more attractive because they're faster and more efficient.
When everything fails, you still can rely on that physical cash. But we do expect to see an uptick in digital currency, because of the efficiency, when we look at people seeking access to currency in short order as a part of the payment system modernization that the central bank is driving, we hope to see fast payments. We hope to see 24/7 transactions across the payment platforms. And so the digital framework is in place and continuing to move. So cash will still exist, but we'll still continue to see an uptick in digital transactions.
All right, we've still got more to come, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center with your first look at temperatures. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Nice day around the islands. We didn't have much in terms of any significant rainfall or thunder. We had one clap earlier, but it's comfortable on the outside, 86 degrees, few clouds. It is slightly on the humid side. Your winds out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 94. Current conditions around the family violence, temperature-wise, 85 in Freeport as well as in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 84 Alistown, Bimini. Pair of 87s, Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbor Key. Governor's Harbor, 88 there, 86 here in the capital. Central Bahamas, 88 in Kemps Bay. We pick up 89, Black Point, Exuma. That's a warm temperature right there. 85 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, and in Deadman's Key. Then we pick up a string of 86s. Coburn Downs in Salvador, Port Nelson, Rum Key, and in Georgetown, Exuma. 86 Duncan Down, Ragged Island, Abrahams Bay, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, and Delectable Bay, Acklands, 85s. 87 in Massetown, Inagua, and the Providencial, Sticks and Caicos Islands. We have 86 at this hour. Satellite and radar composite showing what was left of that front is actually breaking up across the northwest Bahamas. Still some showers and some cloudiness associated with that, but that front will continue to slightly lift towards north, breaking up. We do expect another front that's really across North Florida. That should get in here sometime by the weekend, and that should increase our chances of showers. High pressure keeping us with some light winds. We're looking for those conditions to continue for the next couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, Sebastian Walcott tries to push Frisco into the pro season and in the process earns an invite to the Arizona Fall League. JJ and the Liberty keep the greatest streak in sports going, then back to the minor leagues for the playoffs, a Game 1 win for Ian Lewis in High A.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Caripta to Karakam and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. At the end of August, Sebastian Walcott was the 4th-ranked prospect in the minor leagues, but since the calendar flipped to September, he's making the case for why he should be number 1. In fact, if he leads the Rough Riders to the playoffs, he has to be. Walcott's play throughout the month has not only kept his Frisco Rough Riders postseason hopes alive in the AA Texas League, but he was also named to an Arizona Fall League roster. His latest late-game heroics was a walk-off single to give Frisco a 4-3 win over Northwest Arkansas last night to open the final regular season series of the year. In the previous game, Walcott led the Rough Riders to a 5-1 win over the Midland Rockhounds. He finished 2 for 4 with 3 RBI.
Jonquil Jones has 34 double-doubles in the New York Liberty uniform, and the team has won every single game. It's the surest thing in sports right now. In the penultimate game of the regular season, Jones led the Liberty to a 75-66 win over the Washington Mystics last night at the Barclays Center. She finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. New York has clinched the number 5 seed in the WNBA playoffs.
Ian Lewis's production at the plate continues in the postseason. Lewis and the Beloit Skycarp opened their Midwest League playoff series with a 7-1 win over the Cedar Rapids Colonels Tuesday night at ABC Supply Stadium. After the Colonels tied the game 1-1 in the 5th inning, the Skycarp responded immediately and took control with a 4-run 6, which included Lewis's RBI single. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments on whether the Trump administration's sweeping global tariffs are legal. Plus, Poland downs suspected Russian drones in its airspace, making it the first NATO member to fire during the Ukraine war. And then Cuba's national power grid collapsing for the 4th time in less than a year, causing a nationwide blackout. We have the details when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear arguments on whether the Trump administration's sweeping global tariffs are legal. On Tuesday, it said it would review lower court decisions that found the president did not have the legal authority to enact the tariffs, which were brought in through an Emergency Economic Powers Act. The justices said they would air arguments in the case in the first week of November. The Supreme Court's conservative majority has so far been amenable to temporarily instating Trump's policies and to his request for emergency orders. If the Supreme Court sides with the lower courts and finds that Trump's IEEPA tariffs are illegal, questions will remain over whether the U.S. will have to pay back billions of dollars that have been gathered by import taxes on products. Trump ally Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at an event at Utah Valley University in Utah. Kirk was giving a presentation and was shot during the question and answer period. Video of the incident circling on social media showed Kirk addressing a large outdoor crowd when a loud crack that sounded like a gunshot rang out. Kirk can be seen briefly moving his hand to his neck as he falls off his chair, sending the attendees running. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said that those responsible will be held fully accountable. Poland shot down suspected Russian drones in its airspace on Wednesday with the backing of aircraft from its NATO allies, the first time a member of the Western military alliance is known to have fired shots during Russia's war in Ukraine. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk told Parliament it was, quote, the closest we have been to open conflict since World War II, end quote. However, he added that he had no reason to believe they're on the brink of war. Poland said 19 objects had entered its airspace during a large Russian air attack on Ukraine, and that it had shot down those posing a threat. Two former Meta safety researchers told a U.S. Senate committee that the social media giant covered up potential harms to children stemming from its virtual reality products. The hearing comes a day after the Washington Post reported the whistleblower's allegations that Meta lawyers intervened to shape internal research that could have flagged risks. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, denies the allegations and in a statement referred to the claims at the heart of the hearing as nonsense. The whistleblowers, who once led research on the youth user experience for Meta's VR platforms, told senators that the company demanded researchers erase evidence of sexual abuse risk on those products. They also alleged the company told in-house researchers to avoid work that could produce evidence of harm from its VR products to children. For the first time, there are more children in the world who are obese than overweight, according to a major study by children's charity UNICEF. Around 1 in 10 of those aged 5 and 19 years old, that's around 188 million children and young people, are now thought to be affected by obesity. Researchers blame a shift from traditional diets to ones heavily reliant on ultra-processed foods that are relatively cheap and high in calories. UNICEF is urging governments to protect children's diets from unhealthy ingredients and stop the ultra-processed food industry from interfering in policy decisions. Latest data draws on data from more than 190 countries. The report estimates that by 2035, the global economic impact of overweight and obesity is expected to surpass $4 trillion annually. On Monday, President pro tempore of the Transitional Council, Laurent Saint-Cyr, officially inaugurated the Haitian National Committee for Restitution and Reparation. The 21-member committee includes representatives from the presidency, the Prime Minister's office, the Ministry of Economy and Finance, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, along with 5 members from civil society and 12 distinguished figures from Haiti's academic and scientific communities, both at home and abroad. Saint-Cyr reaffirmed the Transitional Presidential Council's commitment to supporting the committee in fulfilling its mandate, encouraging members to conduct their work with excellence, scientific rigor, and an unwavering dedication to their country. Cuba's national power grid collapsed for the 4th time in less than a year on Wednesday morning, causing a nationwide blackout and leaving 10 million residents without power. According to the Energy Ministry, causes are being investigated and the restoration process has already begun. And before today's grid collapse, many across the island had already been experiencing daily blackouts of 16 hours or more. The grid failure follows a string of nationwide blackouts since late last year that plunged Cuba's frail and antiquated power generation system into near total disarray. The country is also been facing fuel, food, and other shortages amid its worst economic crisis in decades. Still to come in our news, Today in History, find out interesting facts about the day that was September 10th. And then in our news at 7:30, the Bahamas could be one step closer to getting a new ambassador. A hearing is set for tomorrow to decide if a former NFL player will become the next U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. Plus, as the United States faces a job market slump, our Danielle Miller explores whether or not that could have a negative impact on our local tourism numbers. We have the details coming up when our news returns.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our news at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1783, Dennis Roe petitioned the British government for land in the Bahamas to compensate for losses in Florida after the Treaty of Versailles returned it to Spain. He was granted land on Great Exuma. Then in 2006, Daniel Wayne Smith, son of actress Anna Nicole Smith, died of an accidental drug overdose in Nassau, just days after his mother gave birth to his half-sister, Danny Lynn, at Doctors Hospital. And in 2018, for the third time in 3 days, firefighters battled a blaze at Clifton Pier Power Plant. The fires caused power outages in western New Providence. For the full details on these stories that shaped the day that was September 10th, be sure to head on over to ournews.bs. While an international DJ's weekend to the Bahamas intended to expand his global reach at an influencer retreat turned sour when he discovered his bag had been stolen on the first day. Tonight, he is singing praises of joy after a viral plea on social media led to the return of his belongings. Our digital reporter, Timothy Bain, shares his story.
The bag is back. This is a blessing from God. This is a blessing from friends, support. This is a blessing from just good-hearted people.
That's international entertainer DJ Damage outside of the Linden Pinland International Airport Wednesday afternoon, just moments after receiving his once stolen DJ bag. Last Thursday, he came to Nassau for an influencer retreat, an event hosted by Bevy Experiences and Alt Escape Creates to bring together local and international creatives.
So it was unfortunate because when I first came, we first touched down literally at the airport, it was just so much fun. And we got to go to different ports. And I don't know what it's called, but when you go and you could pick the fish out and they skin it in front of you and you get your
Yeah.
There you go. And then from there we went to the grocery store. So we were just having a fun series of events.
But things took a turn for the worst when he realized his backpack was missing.
There was also another person's bag that went missing, which was one of the main people of the group. And I noticed that their bag came out of like a kitchen area, in a common area like kitchen So I was figuring maybe someone seen my bag and maybe put it off to the side.
Friday came with no resolution. He says he knew something was wrong. On Monday, DJ Damage took his pleas to social media in hopes of recovering his DJ bike.
So we asked to see video footage. They said the cameras didn't work. So I'm just asking for help, man. If all my friends could repost this video, if you have any connections to anybody in the Bahamas, please help me out.
Just one day later, he was contacted via Instagram with good news. Someone had the bike. After confirming the contents, he got some local assistance in securing his items.
DJ Overdose and his family, they really came through for me because, mind you, when I was having this communication with this anonymous person, I needed somebody to meet up and kind of make that connection, you know, and they stepped up.
DJ Damage received his bike Wednesday morning at the airport, visibly relieved when he went through his hard drive.
You know, I never want the actions of a few to dictate a community, to dictate a culture. It's beautiful here. I had an amazing time here. Even though I lost my bag, I was still having an amazing time. I have the footage. And this just shows you that people stepped up that didn't even know me. They stepped up to help me get this back.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Timothy Bain.
Now, we reached out to the villas and the owner told Our News that they are relieved that DJ Damage got his belongings back. They are currently investigating how the bike went missing. Thanks so much for that story, Timmy. Great ending. Now, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.ps. That does it for Our News at 7. And joining us now is our Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia.
All right, Megan, I'm happy to see that happy ending to that story. Way to go, Timmy.
Great Samaritan for returning the bike.
For sure. All right, well, coming up, Business and Professional Women's International celebrating its 95th anniversary with events around the globe. We'll tell you about their recent gathering in Grand Bahama. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News at 7:30, the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association says the VAT cut on medicine isn't enough. Its president is calling for the tax to be removed from prescription drugs altogether. Also, a slowdown in the U.S. job market has economists warning of a weakening economy. What does it mean for the country's top industry? Our Danielle Miller has more. Also, former NFL star Herschel Walker is one step closer to becoming the next U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. But first, he faces questions before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And later,
I'm Delvado Emmanuel, and I'm here in the Foxhill community to help residents about who they believe should be their next MP.
The story when Our News at 7:30 returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris, the Paint Place, has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is a great house to play, even down to the staff.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Well, topping news tonight, the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association President Dr. Marvin Smith is calling on the Davis administration to remove value-added tax off of prescription drugs completely. The 50% VAT rate cut from 10% to 5% on medicines, baby diapers, and feminine products came into effect on September 1st. But Smith says while the reduction is a step in the right direction, taxpayers are still feeling the burden.
I think you see it all the time. The public's system is constantly overwhelmed because there are people who just cannot pay for meds. And even in private practice, a lot of my association's members talk about the fact that people are coming in, instead of getting their full 30-day supply, let me pay for a week's supply, let me pay for 2 weeks' supply. This is the economy is crunched. I mean, we know that, okay? The cost of living has gone up.
Sharing similar sentiments was Opposition Shadow Finance Minister Kwesi Thompson. Thompson also called on the Davis administration to restore the zero VAT rate, not only on medicines, but essential personal care items. Dr. Smith says the complete slash would not only benefit residents, but government as well.
Do you know who's the biggest single purchaser of medicines in the country? It's the Bahamas government. So really, the government would be saving time and money by not taxing themselves 5% just to turn around and give it back to themselves. That's 5%. All right? It's really a win-win for everybody across the board.
Well, the U.S. job market is facing a slump, and as always, that's not good news for the nation's #1 industry. U.S. media is widely reporting a hiring slowdown based on data in a recently released jobs report. J.P. Morgan's Chase's CEO going as far as to say the economy is weakening. Our Daniel Miller spoke to a financial expert on the link between the U.S. economy and visitor arrivals.
7.3 million people are currently unemployed in the United States. According to reports, that's a 148,000 increase since October 2021. But what does this have to do with the Bahamas? Chief Operating Officer of Holden Family Office, Jermaine Bullard, explains.
You know, there's a number of old sayings. I guess if they sneeze, we catch the cold, vice versa. So we have to always monitor what's going on in the United States of America. But 75% of our gross domestic product, or pretty much 75% of every dollar, comes from somehow tourism, and that trickles down, that continues to trickle down. So it's very important to our country.
About 80% of tourists to the Bahamas are Americans, making tourism and by extension American tourists a central driver of the Bahamian economy. Bullard says, in his opinion, it's too early to confirm if the employment dilemma in the United States will impact the industry. However, he says it's something to keep an eye on.
As we know, this is probably us going into the slower season until we get into U.S. Thanksgiving and a few other different events. But I think also when we look at these periods, we probably need to come up with other exciting things that we can have during this slow period to get people to come. Because again, it's very important that we, I don't know the correct figure, but a large sum of our tourists come from the United States.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, well, the Bahamas could be one step closer to getting a new ambassador. Former NFL player Herschel Walker will take part in a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing on Thursday as he seeks to become the next U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. The hearing is where a nominee for a U.S. ambassadorial position testifies to the committee to gain their approval and support for their confirmation to the role. U.S. President Donald Trump nominated the former NFL player whose 2022 Senate run was plagued by controversy as ambassador to the Bahamas in December 2024. If he's confirmed, Walker would be the first U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas since Nicole Avant. The Senate has not confirmed a U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas since Avant's departure in 2011. Former President Barack Obama had nominated Cassandra Butts for the role in 2014, but the Senate never brought her nomination up for a vote. She died in 2016. Now turning to Exuma. This as a man is homeless tonight after his residence went up in flames in Exuma this morning. Police say shortly after 3 a.m. they arrived at the scene in the Hearts community where they met the home engulfed in flames. They say the man who was at home at the time was awoken by the smell of smoke. He soon realized the structure was on fire. Now no one was injured during the blaze. Well, a retired prison officer is now an inmate at his former workplace after he pleaded guilty to the attempted murder of his former girlfriend. 67-year-old Jeffrey Sherman has been jailed for 15 years for the attempted murder of Bridget Ingram after he accepted the terms of a plea deal. Sherman will be liable to an additional year in prison if he commits any further offenses while on probation for 2 years following his release from prison. On August 23, 2023, while armed with a shotgun, Sherman went to Ingram's home and shot her in the arms after he accused her of cheating. Sherman will receive credit for his time on remand. He's been in custody since March 2024 after his bail was revoked because he continued to stalk his ex. Well, the battle for Fox Hill is heating up, and with the current area MP and F&M candidate going back and forth publicly, some Fox Hill residents are throwing their support behind current area representative and PLP chairman Fred Mitchell. Our Delvardo Emmanuel was in the community today where he spoke with residents.
Fox can't beat Fred. He wasted his time. Right? Fox belong to Fred.
Residents of the Fox Hill community are sounding off on who they believe will capture the constituency in the upcoming general election. Will it be current MP Fred Mitchell or newcomer Dr. Nicholas Fox? Here's what residents have to say.
And I agree with him 1,000%. He can't do nothing to Dread Fred in Fox Hill. You understand? Dread Fred.
Current Fox Hill MP Fred Mitchell is going head-to-head with Free National Movement candidate Dr. Nicholas Fox for the Eastern New Providence seat in the next general election. In recent weeks, there has been a public back and forth between the pair. A few days ago, Dr. Fox released a video advertising his afternoon feeding program for students in the community, an initiative that didn't sit well with current MP Fred Mitchell. Mitchell hitting back at the gestures, saying the F&M's Burnett Road headquarters was not a public facility, and claiming the food being served was not regulated. The issue quickly drew attention on social media, many showing their support for Dr. Fox. This person said, "Thank you, Dr. Fox. Bahamians need to work together to help those in need and stop playing politics." Another said, "Doc, don't be distracted. Keep up the good work." While Fox has gotten support, this Fox Hill resident is making it clear who they're throwing their support behind.
Do everything, donate every phone, every this and that. He's the community man, bro.
So F&M ain't got no chance?
Not in Fox. I don't have no chance in the next election.
Mitchell, a seasoned politician, has been with the PLP since 1997. He served as MP for Fox Hill for 3 consecutive terms between 2002 and 2012. He lost in 2017 to F&M candidate Shonald Ferguson. Dr. Nicholas Fox is a respected medical professional and entrepreneur. He's also the co-owner for the MediCenter group of clinics in Nassau. Fox was ratified by the F&M on June 26 as a hopeful for Fox Hill. With general elections slated for next year, the question remains, will the people follow tradition or vote for change? Reporting for our news, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
Well, nice weather on this Wednesday. Wondering what else we can expect for the rest of the work week? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a quick check on conditions outside our studios and around the islands. 86 degrees, current temperature on the outside with a few clouds. It's slightly humid. Your winds out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 94. Satellite radar composite. Frontal boundary breaking up across us, basically being analyzed as just a little disturbance. Couple of showers and some cloudiness still associated with the front, but we expect that to slightly lift back towards the north. There's a more significant front we expect to get here by the weekend. That's across North Florida. In the meantime, high pressure keeping us with some light winds for the next couple of days. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us, look at your extended forecast, and the tropics still to come.
Still to come in our news, the Inter-American Development Bank is helping Caribbean nations better prepare for foreign investment. Senior Bahamian officials will join talks tomorrow with hopes of landing new projects. Plus, Business and Professional Women International marked its 95th anniversary with celebrations in Grand Bahama recently. We'll tell you all about it when our news returns.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. They're going to marvel.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury,
Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a Dave's single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Making the Caribbean more attractive for foreign investment, that's the goal of the Inter-American Development Bank's recently launched Preparation Coordination Project. Organizers say the project aims to equip countries in the region with the proper foundation to handle direct foreign investment and to ensure that those projects not only get off the ground but succeed. Senior managers and technical leaders from the Bahamas have been invited to a meeting with IDB officials with the hope of submitting concept proposals that lead to investable projects. The sessions begin tomorrow morning. Our news team spoke to IDB consultant Christopher Sinclair.
We need billions of dollars to do investment. In infrastructure alone, this is a maintenance and new infrastructure to build resilient, climate resilient infrastructure. We estimate it will cost about $21 billion between now and 2030. That's a lot of money. Governments don't have the fiscal space to produce all of that money or to provide all that money. So you have to bring investment externally, but also generate the investment internally. And how do you do that? By getting investors comfortable with the types of projects that you're implementing, that they're well prepared, that they focus on the issues specifically that you want to focus it on, and that they produce results.
And the Bahamas is not the first stop. The team was in Jamaica just last month, but he shares why the Bahamas is such a critical component to what they're hoping to achieve.
Because Bahamas is one of those regions where it's a cross-section between what you get in the north, that is through the United States and Canada, and what you get in the rest of the Caribbean, in the southern part of the Caribbean. And we felt that beginning here in the upper part, Jamaica and Bahamas would be an interesting place to start because we can attract the types of persons that we want to sensitize.
The Business and Professional Women's International, better known as BPW International, is celebrating its 95th anniversary, with events around the globe, including a special gathering in Grand Bahama recently. The organization, founded in 1930, focuses on economic empowerment, leadership development, and mentorship for women worldwide. At the Pelican Bay Resort, members honored 2 deceased charter members who helped shape the BPW's presence in the Bahamas. BPW Bahamas President Anastasia Lewis reminded guests of the group's history and global reach. That mission was echoed by keynote speaker Dr. Debbie Bartlett, who says the focus is ensuring women gain the literacy, skills, and opportunities they need to succeed.
BPW started, and they started in 5 major countries, so USA, Italy, Canada, I think France and Spain, and so they've expanded now into over 100 countries all over the world. BPW has consultative status with the United Nations.
One of those goals, at least the number 1 goal, is the eradication of poverty in 2030 and gender inequality. There's also incorporated that need for self-sufficiency through agriculture. And so our leadership team at BPW, through the leadership of Ms. Anastasia Lewis, has taken a very visionary and aggressive and very strategic approach of uniting women, inspiring women and men.
And for families of those honored, the recognition was deeply personal. Kylene Newton, daughter of honoree Joanna Agatha Newton, says her mother's legacy still inspires her. As for Trevor Simmons, son of the late Naomi Simmons, the tribute brought great pride.
As a woman of strength, valor, and vision, one who has been a pillar in the Grand Bahama community and in the Bahamas and throughout the world, it is indeed an honor, and I am proud to say that I stand here to accept this in her memory.
When we got the call to say that she was being recognized, we were, of course, overwhelmed and appreciative of the fact that after so many years, my mother is being recognized as one of the principals who was involved in that organization during that time.
Coming up in sports, Sebastian Walcott tries to push Frisco into the pro season and in the process earns an invite to the Arizona Fall League. JJ and the Liberty keep the greatest streak in sports going, then back to the minor leagues for the playoffs, a Game 1 win for Ian Lewis in High A.
Than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court Apartment Complex.
Our news at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Candino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news...
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. At the end of August, Sebastian Walcott was the 4th ranked prospect in the minor leagues, but since the calendar flipped to September, he's making the case for why he should be number 1. In fact, if he leads the Rough Riders to the playoffs, he has to be. Walcott's play throughout the month has not only kept his Frisco Rough Riders postseason hopes alive in the AA Texas League, but he was also named to an Arizona Fall League roster. His latest late-game heroics was a walk-off single to give Frisco a 4-3 win over Northwest Arkansas last night to open the final regular season series of the year. In the previous game, Walcott led the Rough Riders to a 5-1 win over the Midland Rockhounds. He finished 2 for 4 with 3 RBI. So far in September, the 19-year-old infielder has a 7-game hitting streak, batting .393 with a 105.6 OPS, with a triple, home run, 7 RBI, 3 steals, and 3 multi-hit games. Frisco improved to 69-62, and paired with an Amarillo loss, the Rough Riders' elimination game is won with 5 games left in the second half. Walcott and the other Rangers prospects will join the Surprise Cigueros in the Fall League October 6th through November 15th. The league serves as a showcase for the top prospects to gain additional experience against high-level competition.
Jonquil Jones has 34 double-doubles in a New York Liberty uniform, and the team has won every single game. It's the surest thing in sports right now. In the penultimate game of the regular season, Jones led the Liberty to a 75-66 win over the Washington Mystics last night at the Barclays Center. She finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. New York has clinched the number 5 seed in the WNBA playoffs. They will take a 26-17 record into the regular season finale when they take on the Chicago Sky Thursday, September 11th. The WNBA playoffs get underway September 14th.
In terms of the starting lineup, it's been a tough season for us, and the injuries and all of that. And so I think it's good just for us to be able to look at not just the starting five, but our entire team and see that, we have juggernauts coming off the bench and, just everybody's able to just play together now, build that chemistry. Like Sandy said, kind of realize what the vision of our team is like. But ultimately, it just gives you, a good feeling to know that everybody is ready to play and suited up.
Ian Lewis's production at the plate continues in the postseason. Lewis and the Beloit Sky Carp opened their Midwest League playoff series with a 7-1 win over the Cedar Rapids Colonels Tuesday night at ABC Supply Stadium. After the Colonels tied the game 1-1 in the 5th inning, the Sky Carp responded immediately and took control with a 4-run 6, which included Lewis's RBI single. Beloit can clinch a spot in the league finals with a win in Game 2 Thursday night in Cedar Rapids. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. Okay, one more regular season game left. Should the Liberty rest everybody on Thursday before the playoffs?
They should rest the social media team.
Yeah, why y'all do that to us? Everything good. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, nice weather conditions in the capital on this Wednesday. Will we see more rain showers soon? Greg is back with the answer when our news returns. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, from the teams you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on my services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king.
This is our news. Welcome back. We are at the statistical peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, this being the 10th. And of course, we hadn't seen much activity since then. And of course, we're going to continue to monitor tropics. Still quiet across our area. We still have a couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt out there in the tropical Atlantic. One coming off the African coast. That's going to generate some showers and thunderstorms by the Cape Verde Islands. Second one in the middle of the screen there, that's in the central tropical Atlantic. And another one approaching the Leeward Islands, all remaining disorganized at this time. Gulf of Mexico and the Western Caribbean, upper level disturbance generating some showers there, but we do have this front across our area, and that's the front that's going to continue to keep us with some showers and some thunderstorm activity in our neighborhood. Big upper level system out there to the northeast, that's generating some showers as well, but not showing any signs of any tropical development at this time. Future forecast showing much of the moisture staying across South Florida and the extreme northwest Bahamas. It's going to lift back towards the north. We get a little bit of a break, but by Thursday, Friday time frame, we expect that front to drop into our area. That's going to increase the shower chances across most of the northwest Bahamas for the weekend. Taking a look at our boating forecast, northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, southerly winds. They're going to be light and variable tonight, becoming 5 to 10 knots tomorrow, seas 1 to 3 feet. Central and southeastern islands, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. They will fall light and variable at times as well. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we get a little bit of a break, some spotty showers through Thursday, but by Friday, as I mentioned, that front expected to drop very near us in the northwest Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms expected. Temperatures will stay in the upper 80s, nighttime temperatures in the upper 70s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.